What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Sincerely V. I am your host, Blanca. I hope you guys are doing amazing and happy summer. Oh my goodness. Can we talk about this weather for a little bit? It's really hot. And I don't know how that's going to be for our summer. I know I hate complaining about the weather because I'm like, it's snowing, it's raining, it's too hot. Like, I'm never happy with the freaking weather. But honestly, it's so hot. Like, I go on a walk at 8:30. I actually went on a run at 9 a couple days ago. I was dying, literally, because it was so hot. So now I do have to be a morning person to be able to go out on my runs. But anyways, okay, you guys, so I have news. I'm going on a little hiatus at the end of this month. So what that means is I'm really going to just be taking a break from social media and podcasting. And the reason being, well, there's a few different reasons. It's not because I'm burnt out or anything like that. On the contrary, actually, I kind of like want to keep going until I get burnt out, but I know that's pretty unhealthy. So, I mean, I've been going at the podcast for 6 months now. Like, holy cow, 6 months just flew by. But I feel like this is a good point to just pause and kind of just like lay everything out again and just come up with like new and better ideas and just come back to you guys like fully refreshed, you know? Like, I just want to come up with ideas that are going to keep you guys engaged, that are going to keep you guys wanting to come back and watch, and just keep you guys like around longer, you know? Because there are so many podcasts out there, and I mean, like, somehow the ones that have like made it up there, like they know what they're doing, you know? And I know that I'm just starting out, but I do see a bigger vision for the pod. And I never like to stay small, and I never like to talk small on my projects or anything, because I know that I can level up and I can make it better. But that's one of the reasons for the podcast, that it will be pausing just for like a few weeks, like maybe a month. It might go a little over a month, just depending how our summer plans come to be and what comes out of our summer plans or anything. But I just like want to work on this room. I want to work on like my ideas, and there's just a lot. There's a lot like burning in here that wants to like produce, you know? But and as for social media, like I just think personally, I think it's just always healthy to take a little social media break. Just like keeping up with everything and everyone. Like, it's just nice to kind of like put your phone away and not be on your screen all the time. Like, I just want to be one with nature, you know, like just enjoy the summer and really just like, I don't know, like I'm really excited for what the summer is gonna bring. But also just know that on the side, I am still working. I will still be working on developing the pod and just making it better. But yeah, I am really excited. I think it'll be good. I think I'll just be coming back with a lot more energy and everything, because if you guys have been keeping up with my previous episodes, there's just been like, I've been kind of just fluctuating a little bit, you know, like there's just things that have happened internally and, you know, like in my life and everything. And I just think this is a good time to kind of just like resolve them and just like work on myself a lot more. And I mean, I'm always working on myself, I'll be honest. Like, I just think I'm my main priority right now. I don't have kids right now, so it's a perfect time to take advantage of that. Although if you do have kids, I still definitely encourage you to take care of yourself. But I think it's easier when you don't have kiddos, you know? So I'm just definitely taking care of that. And then just like working on a lot of like fun things that I want to just do. But anyways, I will be having 2 more episodes this month, and then I'll start my hiatus that I'm super excited about. And yeah, but this is not a goodbye. This is just a see ya later, you know? I didn't know. I wasn't too sure when I was gonna like announce it. I was like, should I announce it on this one or the next one? I wasn't too sure yet, but I was just like, whatever, like I'll just say it and remind you guys on my next one too. But I thought it would be a good time to say it because it kind of ties in a little bit on the conversation that we're gonna chat about on this episode. And it's really about just having a balanced lifestyle. And I think just talking about taking care of myself and what I need to do for myself right now really ties into that. And I feel like the word balance can look and mean something very, very different to different people. And I think it also like changes in what's going on in your life at the moment. So I took a lifestyle coaching class, and it really dived deep into the wheel of life, and it showed us like the whole, like the categories that people really focus on in their life. And it's like career, family, finance, health, friendships, fun and recreation, spirituality. There's something else, but it's basically just like showing us kind of like a glimpse of areas of our life that people put energy into. And this can honestly vary for a lot of different people. Like some people might remove a few things from the wheel and some people might add different things. This is like pretty much, if you're looking at your life, this is like what you put your energy into, you know? And it looks very different for a lot of us, you know? Like for me personally right now, my career takes up a lot of that energy. Like I pour quite a bit into my career right now, but because I just entered that stage of my life where I just begun my career, you know, so it's something of course that I'm excited about. I have a lot of energy and I just have like my enthusiasm is just like off the walls because I want to grow and I want to learn and I just want to gain the knowledge that I can. So if you see it like as a pie chart type of thing, you know how like the pie chart sometimes like there's like areas that are like bigger than others because like the percentage is like bigger or whatnot. That's basically your wheel of life. Like your areas, the categories just really depend on what your main priority is right now. Balancing isn't that you have to have everything in your categories like this. Like you don't have to have it in a straight line because it's not going to look like that realistically. I do think that balancing your life is having self-awareness of knowing where you're lacking, where you're putting your priorities, but realizing that you know that you want to work on those things. I think it does get a little unhealthy when you're hyper-focusing a little too much in one category and lacking everything else, because then it's really, you're just going to be like this, you know, like everything is down here and then maybe like your finances are up here and you're just like, yes, like this is where I want to be, like my finances are great, like, you know, and you're feeling super satisfied. And then you look and your family priorities are down here, your friendships are down here, your health is way down there, you know, your spiritual life is really down there because you weren't taking care of it. So what it really means is that you're just looking at all of your areas and you're trying to pour a little bit at least in those categories. But I also think that we have to be very self-aware of the healthiness that we have around pouring into our wheel. Because sometimes what happens is like when we're like very hyper focused in something, and then like in that area, like for health, for instance, like we are going to the gym and we're eating really good and we're having like, you know, like we're seeing results and something. And then one day something happens and we eat a donut and then you put yourself down for like the rest of the week because you ate a donut. Like you cannot be super hard on yourself. I think that having a balanced lifestyle is also being able to enjoy life without putting so much pressure if you end up falling off the wagon or, you know, like getting off routine. Don't put that much pressure on yourself, because hello, we're human, we're gonna make mistakes. We need lessons to learn to be able to reflect back on those mistakes. Like we need to go through those trial and errors, and that's okay. I don't think that you should feel guilty when you enjoy life and you are able to splurge on yourself a little bit. We do deserve to live a fine life, and if we live that life, your life is gonna just be so much more in harmony. Have you guys ever watched the TikTok videos where it's like a balanced lifestyle isn't this if it doesn't have this, and it's like you're out in nature and then like another video comes and you're like out partying and everything? I have my thoughts on that, and for some people, yes, that is the way that they like to live their balanced lifestyle, is like being able to do a little bit of everything, which is honestly completely fine. Like personally for me, like I'm able to do that, like I'm not saying that I'm like out in the party scene or anything. Like that's just something that I just don't really do. But what I'm saying is, like, for example, like when I go out and have a drink with a friend or something, like I can keep it at a drink or two and I'm completely fine. Like I have well balanced my life where I know my limits and that I don't have to get blacked out when I go out to dinner or when I'm able to, or when I go out to an event or something like that. Like I have that self-control that I'm able to take a step back and know like I don't want to feel like crap the next day. I also think because when I turned to 21, I went like hard very, very fast, and I got over it really, really fast. So I'm so glad, because alcoholism runs in my family and I could have been an alcoholic, but I'm not. I have learned how to be able to go out and drink. Plus, drinking is not really like something that I look forward to. Like I can easily socially drink and I'm perfectly fine. Like I don't need to have a drink to be social or to be a social butterfly or anything like that. I really don't. I like to have a glass of wine and I'm completely fine with just a glass or two. And I like to have beer and I'm completely fine with just that, Like I know my boundaries and I know my limits. And I think that's what also makes a balanced lifestyle, where you don't get pressured into doing something that no longer suits you. And I also think that's something that like it just comes with time, and it just comes with like what you're willing to sacrifice and not sacrifice. Like I go out with friends that don't drink, and if they don't want to drink, I'm not going to drink in front of them. Like it's also about having that self-awareness that if one of my friends was struggling with having a drink, like why would I get a drink in front of them? I think that's very unfair. And I also understand that some people might not see it that way, of like, okay, well, they don't have any self-control. I have self-control, I think that also goes into the topic of just like who you're hanging around with and, things like that. And also I just think I'm at that age where like I don't want to get plastered and wake up with a hangover and things like that. Like I don't. But I understand some people let go of that, and I think that's really healthy for someone that just did not have a good relationship with alcohol and doesn't know how to control their alcohol. Like I think it's very healthy for someone to give that up and relearn themselves of who they are without drinking, But anyways, that just came to mind because I just actually had seen that TikTok video of someone walking in nature, or like I think they were doing like a marathon, and then the next day like they went out to like go party and stuff, and I'm not like that was like their way of balancing their life. And that just doesn't fit in everyone's lifestyle. Some people don't want to go out and party. Like that's not their type of lifestyle, but it's more like they have a specific routine throughout the week, and then something happens in the middle of the week and they get super thrown off. And trust me, that was me. Like I had like a very structured routine Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays were my days that I was kind of lean about it, but I still needed to get chores done. I still wanted to do certain things and everything, and then I started realizing, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like chill out, Blancs. Why do you have to have your life so structured? Like you don't. And I mean, I'm not saying that routine isn't good, because it is. It really holds you accountable on your things, and it gives some sort of discipline to yourself. But I also think it's okay if in the middle of the week Like, my friends and I went to a concert like on a Wednesday, and it was honestly like the best time. Like, we barely knew the songs, but it was like such a fun time. Like, I don't know, I just think like sometimes being off routine is fun, and it's like exciting, and I just think like right now, like my husband and I don't have kids, so it's like fun to do, and just like taking advantage of the moments like we're able to just like go to a concert in the middle of the week, like it's really fun. And for me, like it used to be very like, oh my God, like I can't, like I can't like miss work. I can't like ask for the day off, or I can't just like leave in the middle of the week. Like it was just like, I don't know what it was. I think it was just like my self-image at work, or just like how I was going to feel the next day. But I just look at my mom too. Like homegirl has like all the energy in the world. Like she will go to Mex and then she's working the next day, like I'm just like, okay, girl, like, and I think she's like in her late 40s, and she's just living it up. And I'm just like, am I tired on a Tuesday and like complaining that I gotta go work on a Wednesday, like, I don't know. Anyways, I also think that's balancing your life. I think it's just like being able to be off routine and enjoying things that are fun and that you like to experience, or that you want to experience, and that you don't have to stay stuck in this like picture perfect routine. Like we just need to stop feeling guilty for getting off track. We need to stop feeling guilty and putting so much pressure on ourselves for not meeting certain expectations or goals that we had for ourselves for the week or for the month or whatever you want to call it, I mean, I think it's realistic that a lot of us, and mostly like those self-motivators, self-developing individuals, like to put on ourselves our like specific goals and things, which is great, but it's like, it's okay if you don't meet them. It's okay if you don't meet them at the timeline that you had for yourself. I also think that a true balance lifestyle means having the freedom to enjoy certain things without restricting yourself from doing them, because you think it's going to mess up your hard work, dedication, and the success that you have put into something. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes you have to sacrifice things in order to meet certain goals that you have for yourself. Absolutely you do have to sacrifice certain things, and that's where the wheel comes in, the wheel of life comes in, where you are pouring a little bit more into something, but you're still knowing that like right now I'm looking into my self-development. How is my friends and my family and my health going? Like, are they really low right now? Like, are they under like the 1%? Have I not been pouring into that? Like you want to observe what you're lacking, what your body, mind, and spirit are asking for, because a lot of the times when our stress and anxiety and frustration and, all these negative things start arising, it's because there's something in that wheel that's lacking, that like you need to start moving, and you can't just like keep it there, like sometimes you get stressed that like we haven't reached out to a friend, or that friend hasn't reached out to us. And sometimes like we get stressed because we're like, oh shoot, like I haven't reached out to this friend, and like, what are they going to think about me? I'm going to lose this friendship or whatever, like stop stressing yourself about these things. Like stop stressing that you want to pour so much into your life because you feel like if you don't, it's going to be the end of the world. Like, no, like it's not going to be the end of the world. Like you're a big girl now, you're a big boy now. Like you can talk to your friends, letting them know like, hey, like I've been super busy this month. Sorry, I haven't reached out. Or, or sometimes you need to have those conversations with your family and be like, okay, you know what? This month is going to be tough, but let's work together and let's do this. And like there's just ways to be able to pour into your life. And again, it looks very, very different for everybody. Like it looks very different for people that have a whole family. It looks different for someone that is riding solo right now. It looks different for a 2-person household. It looks different. It just looks very different. And honestly, it's going to look different a few months from now, or even like a week from now. Like the way that you're balancing your life, it's gonna come different, and that's okay. But the point being is, don't focus too much on something without filling the other things as well. What's going to happen is that you're going to get super overwhelmed because you weren't focusing on other areas of your life. So you're gonna just get super stressed trying to like pick up the slack of every other area in your life because you were super focused on only one thing. In order to have a well-balanced life, we need to allow ourselves to reflect on things that are important, you know? And for instance, I think just looking at the wheel of life, like we look at like friendships and we're like, I don't need friends. Like, I'm fine without friends, you know? But then there comes a point and an age where you're just like, okay, maybe I don't need a huge amount of friends, but I do like to have friends that I'm able to go out and get coffee with, friends that I can go out and travel with, friends that I can go out and just see a concert in the middle of the week, friends that I can just go and like pick up the phone and like talk to them about my day. We're humans. We need those social interactions. I'm sorry to break it to you, but realistically, if you're telling yourself that you don't need friends or that your family doesn't matter or that your health doesn't matter or anything like that, it's because you're probably lacking those areas and you don't want to work on them. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to pour into the different areas in your life. That is for you to figure out and to learn a little bit more about yourself, what you're lacking, what your success is, where you're doing really good, where you can put a little bit more effort in. I think it's really important and it's healthy. It's a really healthy way to live your life. Don't be toxic with yourself. Don't isolate yourself from experiences that you want to go out and try out because you're super focused on something right now and you think that if you go and do this one thing, it's gonna mess up your whole hard work and everything that you've been working at and it's just gonna mess up the whole thing. Don't think that way. Try to get yourself out of the mentality of thinking that if you have fun or you go and do something that's not typically in your day-to-day routine, it's gonna just throw you off. It might, but the memories will be there. The experience is gonna be there. And I think that's just what we need to look at, you know? I think we just put limits on ourselves because we might be scared of something. I think boundaries are super healthy. Like whenever you feel like, you can't give so much in one certain area because you really need to feel satisfied in one area. I think that's up to you in the boundaries that you're setting up for yourself. And also the sacrifices. But I also want us to be very aware of the sort of sacrifices that we're giving up. Because sometimes the sacrifices that we think are good for us are actually doing more damage to us because we get overly obsessed and hyper focused on a certain area that we think that we just have to remove everything and everyone from our life because this is what's going to get me to my goal and I can't do anything about it. And again, I think that's where the putting limits on ourselves comes from. But we're just human, you know, we're only human and we shouldn't feel guilty of enjoying, what does that mean? Enjoying and joy. Maybe that's what it means. We're only human and really we do need to go through those trial and errors to realize that what we are giving up and what we're pouring into a little bit more is worth it. And if it's bringing us the joy that we truly need. I think it's just also about organizing our life and just putting everything out into perspective. But I encourage you guys to give it a try, to just kind of like lay everything out and just be like, okay, where can I work in these areas a little bit more? And I'll list down in the description box just the different categories and areas that we talked on today's episode. And just comment down below. Comment down below how you have managed to keep a well-balanced lifestyle or a harmonized lifestyle, however you want to call it, and give ideas to other folks that maybe they haven't thought about, that maybe I haven't thought about. I think it's really cool, like hearing someone else's perspective on something. So comment down below. Don't forget to like. If you are listening on Spotify, don't forget to follow. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'll have 2 more episodes coming out in June, and then I'll be going into my hiatus. I'll miss you guys. I'm not saying goodbye just yet. So look forward to chatting with you guys on next week's episode. I'm super excited for next week's episode. So stay tuned. Love you guys so much. Sincerely, B.